So now that we have been able to compile a Java program, let's talk a little bit about the IDE that we are going to use for the rest of this course. An IDE, or an integrated development environment, refers to the software used to write programs in an environment that supports a text editor that we will use for writing our code, a compiler which converts the code to a machine language, or when we are talking about Java, to bytecode. And it usually includes a user interface that will be familiar to most computer users. For this series, we will be using the Eclipse IDE, although I will give you one example of how to write a program and compile it using IntelliJ. It is another very popular IDE from a company called JetBrains. Some people might argue that IntelliJ is better or Eclipse is better. It doesn't really matter because they are very similar and they can both do most of the work that you would expect in modern IDE. Eclipse is itself written in Java. It requires Java 1.4 or higher. For us with this course, you should be running Eclipse with Java 8 or higher. So from eclipse.org, go to Downloads, and then from here you can download the Eclipse IDE for Java developers, and just make sure that the version you choose corresponds to the version of the JDK that you had installed for Java. Otherwise, it's not going to work. In my case, I had installed JDK for 64-bit Windows, so I have downloaded Eclipse for 64-bit Windows, extracted, and move it to a folder called Tools under my E drive. Eclipse is portable, so you don't need to install it. You just run the eclipse.exe right from here. So I will just go ahead and create a desktop shortcut for Eclipse, and then just run it from the desktop. The first time you start Eclipse, you will be asked to specify a workspace, which is the directory where all your work will be stored. You can accept the default name or provide one of your own. For me, I'm going to change my workspace to my exercise files folder. I will browse and I will go to my desktop. And from there, I will just go to exercise files and click OK. If you had downloaded the exercise files for this course, you can do the same, or you can create your own exercise files if you want. With Eclipse Classic Java developers, you will see the following welcome screen that includes links to extensive documentation and tutorials. If you are a new Eclipse user, you can browse through some of these topics that are available for you here. But right now, we'll just close this view. When you are looking at Eclipse homepage for the first time, it might be somewhat overwhelming, but we are going to break up the interface into a few main groups that we are going to be focusing on in this course. In other words, some of these banners are irrelevant. The large area in the center of the window is where you will write and edit your Java programs. To the left of this is the Package Explorer view, which will contain a list of your Java projects and source code files. And I will explain packages in more details a little bit later. Folders can be expanded or collapsed by clicking the triangle button. If you expand a class, you will see a list of its methods that you can quickly access by double-clicking. To the right are some other views that I don't find very useful, and I suggest that you close them by clicking the small X next to the name of each view. If you accidentally close one of the important views, such as the Package Explorer, you can get it back by selecting it from the Show View submenu of the Window menu. At the top here, like most IDE, Eclipse contains a main menu and a toolbar. The File menu contains Save and Save As, Import and Export items. The Search menu item is useful for navigating among multiple projects and among multiple pieces of source code within projects. The toolbar contains many icons that apply only to Java programming. We will consider some of these later in this course. These include debug and run. Also, you will see skip all breakpoints. This refers to debugging. Finally, at the bottom here, you have your console. This will be where the hello world will be displayed, and you have some tabs here for problems and things like that. So now I have already a project here that I have loaded up just as a demonstration project, and to do any work in Eclipse, you need a project. So to start a new Java project, go to the menu, choose File, then New, then Java Project. In the window that pops up, it is only necessary to fill in a project name for the project. So I will just name it Hello World. And I recommend creating your project names without any spaces or special characters. Accept all the other default settings and click Next. And then just click Finish. I will close this other project that we had before. And now you can see we have our Hello World project here, and it doesn't have anything in it. All programming in Java is done inside classes, so you have to define a class. The good news is Eclipse makes this pretty simple to do. Just right click on your source folder and choose New, then Class. In the window that opens, type in the name of the class. For this case, Hello World. Accept all the other default settings again, and in fact there's only one other change to make here. To make this a valid startup class, check the option labeled public static void main and then click Finish. Alternatively, there is a small icon at the top of the Eclipse window that you can click to create a new Java class. So now from here we can write our code, and Eclipse has several features that help you as you type your code. It will underline any syntax error with a jagged red line, and in some cases will place an error marker in the left border of the edit window. Note that you do not have to get rid of every error immediately as you type. Some errors will go away as you type in more of the program. Another special feature, if I type in SYS and hold down the control key and hit the spacebar, it will offer possible completions of whatever you are typing at the moment. And so this is kind of useful when using Eclipse. If there is only one possible completion when you hit Control Space, it will be inserted automatically. Like if I type in SYS out and hit Control Space, it auto-completes for me the system.out.println statement that displays a string on the console. And a string is a programming term meaning a sequence of characters. I will set the string to Hello World after the closing parenthesis. I will put in a semicolon at the end, and after that I will expand that, and that is my finished Hello World application. I will save my class here, and now I'm going to run the application for the first time. To run an application, go to the toolbar and look for the Run button. And here it said Hello World. Note that using Eclipse, there is no explicit compile command. The source code files in your project are automatically compiled and are recompiled whenever you modify them. And one more time, in Java, all code must be wrapped in class definitions, and code that you want to execute must be wrapped inside this main function that is called automatically by the Java virtual machine. So that's pretty much it. That is the basic Java program, the basic, most simple Java program that you can create. And we are going to do the rest of this class inside the IDE inside of Eclipse.